Hey there, I'm back, and today we are talking about the last and final and very, very important piece, and it is caring for your garden. So, this is what's going to get us from spring into fall, and it's pretty simple. A lot of people shy away from having their own garden because they really believe that it's going to be so much work. He says, I don't have half an hour to an hour every day to be out there weeding, and they make it seem like it's such drudgery. Well, let me be straight with you. I am about the laziest gardener on the history of the earth, and I spend maybe 20 minutes a week weeding my garden, and it doesn't feel like a chore. Occasionally I'll be out there, everything's growing, looking gorgeous. I'll go to pick some herbs to bring in for supper. I end up sitting down and pulling out a bunch of weeds, and before I know it, my tea is ice cold and my pot's boiled over on the stove and I've lost complete track of time. And that's how I do my weeding, because it's not so much about the work never being done. It's more about the fact that gardening work doesn't even feel like work. It feels like pleasure because you're out in your favorite space and you're seeing everything that you've grown yourself from little baby plants and little baby seeds, and it's just a joy to nurture it. So try to get that idea of way too much work out of your mind. You will be the one that gets to dictate how much time you spend, and it just has to do with how pristine and tidy you want it to look. Now, watering is probably the most essential part of caring for your garden. So make sure that you look over that section there. Make sure that you're giving your plants lots and lots of water, um, regular water maintenance, and bring your bug spray because you're going to want to do that early in the morning or late in the evening. And the mosquitoes like that time too. So when you're watering, lots of bug spray, and then follow the list of directions there in the checklist. Beyond that, weeding, it's pretty simple. Make sure it grows big enough at least so that you're sure that it's a weed. And if you're not sure, there's a bunch of apps that can help you out with that. Or take a pic, send it to me, and I'll try and walk you through it. Mulch is an interesting one because what it does is it basically blankets the soil so that it retains moisture so we don't have to water as much, which is a bit of a win-win. And the worms and the other good things that are in your soil really like a good protective layer of mulch too. So that's an important part. And I touched on pest control a bit yesterday because I was saying that the herbs and flowers in our guild a lot of times help with that. So if you do have some little critters that are starting to eat your plants, you can remove them manually. I'd like to encourage you not to use any chemicals in your garden because they will be going into you when you eat them, and that's yucky. So let's try and steer away from that. But beyond that, the only other thing is harvesting. Now, like I say in the checklist, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by telling you when a tomato is ripe for the picking. You will know in your gut, in your soul, these are your things. The only thing is root vegetables. Now, if you're anything like me, you're going to want to pick them probably a month before they're actually ready. Pull them out and see, oh, that's a little skinny carrot. Oh, that's another little skinny carrot. Oh, this carrot's a little bit bigger. Anyways, so if you're feeling like, yeah, that's probably going to be your style too, wait at least 2 weeks longer than you think this should definitely be ready, especially for root vegetables. And then the one last thing that I want to talk about is support. So some of our climbers, our cucumbers, our pumpkins, things like that aren't going to climb up another plant, one of their guild neighbor mates. We're going to need to give them some sort of structure. And tomatoes too. They are all lush with their beautiful fruit, but they get really droopy, and so you kind of need to contain them. With a simple tomato cage, it doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to keep that plant up off of the soil so that your tomatoes don't turn rotten. Now, if you feel like you maybe need a little bit more support, like those gorgeous tomatoes that you're going to be growing, then feel free to lean on me. I am very easy to reach out to on all my social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, whatever your fancy. And also, you can reach me at this email that I've been reaching out to you all week. If you think that this is going to be your year and one veggie box is not enough, then I do have a course coming up, and it is the Kitchen Garden Boot Camp. It is an 8-week program where this spring we're going to grow all the food. If you want to go hog wild and jump 2 feet into growing everything, fruits, flowers, and you want your yard front or back to be bursting at the seams, then I would highly recommend the Kitchen Garden Boot Camp. We're going to have flowers, we're going to have fruits, herbs, and vegetables, not only annuals like we have in our veggie box, but also perennials that are going to keep producing for the coming years ahead. And so feel free to reach out or click this link that's in the description here, and we'll hook you up. Otherwise, I hope that you get to it. And like I said, if you need any help, please reach out to me. I am more than happy, and I want to see your pics of all of your gorgeous spaces. I want to see what you've brought in. So please share it with me, tag me, however you want to do it. I can't wait to see, because your veggie box is going to be incredible. Thank you so much for spending this week with me, and I'll hear from you soon. Bye.